you don't see every day.
Yeah, we just followed these cows through a tunnel, and obviously the cows were in front of the Attaway, which is fine. Apparently cows are treated a lot more humanely or with more respect in Switzerland and Austria. I met a chap on retreat back in the summer, Thomas, and he was a cheese maker and he defended his livelihood. And he told me that they treat cows a lot more, or the cattle a lot more, with a lot more respect. They keep smaller herds, just kinder than perhaps we are in the UK. This is just a typical estate or built-up area in Liechtenstein. So yeah, I'm on my way from the hotel at the ski resort in Melbourne to Austria, hoping to make it to the Grossglockner. The castle. Yeah. Look at that. Windy mountain road, roadside. I forgot at one point, I was driving on the left and the car came down the corner. Yeah, that was quite embarrassing. I forgot I was meant to be driving on the right and went into default mode, and I came around the corner and this woman was just absolutely horrified that I was driving on the wrong side of the road. And I didn't know what to do, I just panicked and I pulled over to the left, which sort of made it even worse. I think that's about the only time that happened. At this point, I've just come through the Arlberg tunnel. And I was underground for 10 or 15 minutes. It was a long tunnel, I couldn't believe it. I thought I'd misread the sign when I first entered, and no, I hadn't. It's 14, just under 14 kilometres long. And dug by dwarfs by all accounts, through the Arlberg Massif, a huge mountain range. And when it was built originally, it was the biggest or the longest tunnel in the world, and but now it's the longest tunnel in Austria. Hello. Most people here in Austria speak pretty good English. You speak English?
Yes.
That's a long tunnel.
That's for the tunnel. It's the tall.
How many kilometres long is it?
40 kilometres.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's
quite incredible. Thank you. Is this Austria or Switzerland?
No, Austria.
Wow.
Perfect.
That's
Thank
good.
you. Have a nice day.
You too. Austria is better than Switzerland, isn't it?
Bye.
Take care. Hey, that was interesting. Yeah, Austria! This road was pretty boring, to be honest. I tried getting off at one point, but the secondary roads weren't much better, just a bit boring and built up. Basically, this whole road, I think, is the 188 and the A12 to Innsbruck, and then the 165 to Tyrol Salzburg. And basically, it just follows a valley. It is quite pretty, but it's pretty uninteresting roads, in my opinion. They're pretty straight, a bit dull. Here I decided to come off and have a cup of coffee and a piece of cake, of course. You know, I think sometimes when we go abroad for a ride and we expect everything to be, you know, the best roads that you've ever ridden on, but a lot of them are just normal roads. And you have to traverse some of these boring sections in order to get to where you want to go. And yeah, the way it is. There's a lot of tunnels in this stretch of road on this day. I find the German and Austrian drivers generally very good. They're very disciplined, I would say. They don't acknowledge each other like we do in the UK. You know, we flash up our lights and wave and say thank you, and but they don't do that so much. Well, hardly at all. I think sometimes as English drivers we can perceive that behaviour as being rude or ignorant, but on the other hand, perhaps it helps us evaluate our own culture. Perhaps we're a little bit too polite in our culture, and it's not always sincere, is it? The road engineering is superb. There's a lot of places like this with huge stores of timber and logs. There are some slightly more interesting roads. You get a little bit demoralised actually, some of the straight roads, boring. One thing I did find that driving on the right and being an advanced rider, Rosper and Dan, we're taught to put our right foot down, which is fine when you're driving on the left because the camber is up, so it's not so far to put your foot down. But when you're driving on the right hand side, the camber is off to the right, so it's further. The ground is further away from your right foot, which I found it a little bit intimidating when I went to stop on several occasions where I thought the ground might not be there. I could have probably switched the left foot down actually. They use a lot of timber in the manufacturing of building of houses here, which I suppose is a sensible thing to do. They have the resource, locally grown timber. Stunning views nearly everywhere. Mountains and valleys and twisty roads. Less traffic than we'd have in the UK, I think. Bumblebee's looking happy. Look at that view. This is right at the end of the season as well, so you're talking mid to late October. So I saw very few people on motorcycles. Weather's starting to get colder, which I suppose is its positives and negatives. Not a lot of people to talk to about motorbikes. I guess, I did feel a little bit lonely at times. It's part of it, it's part of travelling on your own. Generally I found the local people, wherever I went, so helpful. And most people spoke English. People are basically good. I think when you remember that, trust in it, the world becomes a less hostile, less lonely place. What's the matter with you? What an amateur. I think being out of season as well, there's a lot more roadworks and road repairs going on. In hindsight, I would have probably gone a bit earlier, but I couldn't because a wedding to go to. My son Joe got married to Tammy. I'm thinking next year I might just do local trips, so saying that I have organised or have booked to go on a trip with some of the North Devon Rosper boys, and we're going to the Pyrenees, Spain. That should be good, but I know there'll be a lot of alcohol involved in the equation. And also a trip planned with my other friends here in Devon. We're planning to go to Scotland, but I think the following year I'd like to do a bit of a trip around the Baltic, a loop around the Baltic. That could be interesting, maybe on my own. In some ways it doesn't matter that you're stuck behind a vehicle, you just enjoy the road and enjoy the views. A lot of these roads, it's not really worth the risk of chance of an overtake. It's a long way down the side of that mountain. I came across lots of restaurants along the way, but nearly 95% of them were closed. Quite often I'd stop, get out my own cooking gear and make myself a cup of coffee alongside the road. That's the beauty of being self-sufficient on a motorcycle. And always carry a little bit of food with me. So it's a lot cheaper than dining out all the time. Guten Morgen. Nikolaus in Austria, a place called Lan, small village near the Grossglockner. It's just started to rain, but could have been a lot worse. I expected a lot worse weather. Yesterday was actually warm, 22 degrees. Yeah, so pretty boring ride mainly yesterday. Went through a tunnel. It's 14 kilometres long. It used to be the longest tunnel in the world, being superseded. Anyway, so yes, see if I can get up the Grossglockner. Hopefully it won't be snowing up there. Take care, see you soon. Hello.
Nein,
No?
nein. Wir haben Sicherheitssperre.
How do you speak English?
We have closed all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got a phone, yeah.
It's closed.
Okay. Thank you. Do I try and go through that shit?